This is the theme deck Unseen Depths, the other side to the Towering Heights deck. Even the name is very much that inversion of, you know, Towering Heights, Unseen Depths. And this one, of course, is all about the Kyogre. Well, it's not actually all about the Kyogre, but it is the Pokemon that features on the front of the theme deck. It's very similar to the Groudon that it is opposed to. So, High Water is attached to Water Energy, but it's from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. Swirling Waves does 130 damage, costs 1 more energy than the attack that the Groudon has, but rather than having the drawback where you can't use the attack the following turn, it's simply that you have to discard an energy with this Pokemon. So, natural synergy there between High Water and Swirling Waves. Ambipom is one of the stars of this deck. The attack bye-bye throw says do 60 times. Discard up to 2 cards from your hand. This attack does 60 damage for each card you discarded in this way. So it is putting out as much as 120 damage as soon as your second turn of the game. That makes it quite potent. It is very, very good. It can knock out the likes of Tornadus, Thundurus, a plethora of other high HP Pokemon in the theme deck format. Ambipom can really, really run over an opponent's setup very fast. So I'm quite a fan of this Ambipom, and I've also lost to it plenty of times too. So Golduck is up there in usability as well. So Energy Loop doing a respectable 80 damage for 2 energy. And what it does is it puts the energy back into your hand, and it allows you to preserve the energy that you have access to. So the only issue with attacking with this Golduck is just the part where it's removing energy that you have in play. So it's not so bad if Golduck gets knocked out on the turn that you attack with Energy Loop. So it might be appropriate to attack with mid-game when your opponent is taking one-hit KOs with their powered-up Pokemon. But what feels really bad is when you have to continually attach the Golduck to continually attack with it. I think you ideally only want to have to attack with it once. A really important part of playing theme decks, or even just Pokemon in general, is the tempo at which that you attach energy cards. So any attack that removes an energy from your side of the board and puts it back into your hand really needs to have a powerful upside to doing that. Even if it's an effect like Energy Loop where you don't lose the card outright, it needs to be quite compelling to want to make use of. So usually attacks like that have a strong secondary effect, like discard all this energy and it paralyzes your opponent. Or it'll be something like, it'll just do like a lot of damage or something like that. Then there needs to be an upside to removing energy from your own board. And then the stage 2 attacker in this deck is this Empoleon. So it's a very interesting card, this stage 2 Empoleon. It has an attack for 1 energy that says Recall. Choose an attack from one of this Pokemon's previous evolutions and use it as this attack. What you have to do is look at this Empoleon alongside the previous evolutions. So Prinplup, the attack that you want to look at is Direct Dive. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 100 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, the thing to keep in mind with Recall is that it ignores the energy requirement of those attacks. It just uses the effect of the attack. So Recall doesn't need 3 energy to use Direct Dive. It only needs the 1 energy to supply the cost of Recall. So you get to discard an energy every turn and just do 100 damage, right, to whatever you target down. And then even Piplup is quite compelling as well with Bubble Hold. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So that's quite cool too. It's like if you're facing down a Tornadus, Thundurus, something like that, Empoleon can effectively knock it out without that Pokemon ever getting a chance to attack it back. So, and then if you absolutely need to, you can attach a second energy and just use Aquafall and do 130 damage. So this Empoleon is pretty strong. 160 HP is quite nice. The lightning weakness is, of course, bad against Soaring Storm, but not too bad in your other matchups. Although the Lost Thunder Raikou deck will probably give you some grief as well, but it just means that you have to focus on using the Ambipom. The last Pokemon to go over in this deck is... Actually, there's 2 more Pokemon, so we'll go over the Pyukumuku. Primarily, you're going to use Call for Family of this Pokemon, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench, shuffle your deck. So, it's alright in the early game, right? If you get a chance to use Call for Family, or if it's just the best play available to you, then that's what you're going to do. And you also have this Fione. I very much like this effect in Theme Deck meta, because effects that impact your opponent's active Pokemon in the way that Whirlpool Suction does is few and far between. So quite often when you're playing a Theme Deck match, you're not thinking too much about your opponent's ability to disrupt your active Pokemon. Fione is a rare instance where you're allowed to do that. And then you can get away with an early game play or even a mid to late game play where your opponent is sort of playing under the assumption that you're not going to be able to target the bench. Especially good in early game when your opponent might not have many Pokemon in play, and Whirlpool Suction can create like a very difficult choice for your opponent. It could really put them behind in their setup and their tempo just because you have access to this ability. So, and the rest of the deck is fairly straightforward. Roller Skater here is nice in this deck in the fact that discarding energy has a synergy with High Water, but I've got to be honest, I haven't really used High Water with Kyogre very much. The problem for me is that it's kind of like a setup Pokemon, but most of the Pokemon in your deck don't really need that much energy, so it's only going to be powering up itself. And then you can't really use High Water unless you get energy into the discard pile, which means attacking with Ambipom or something like that, or using Roller Skater or Viridian Forest to filter energy into the discard pile. And then, after all of that, you know, High Water is the kind of attack that you want to be using early game, not late game, or mid game even. So, I'm kind of torn on the usability of this card. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, not a big fan. But keep in mind what it can do. Sometimes you'll get an opportunity mid-game to use High Water into Swirling Waves. You got supporters for setup, a couple of Tantalizer, a couple of Switch, lets you bounce around the Pokemon that you have in play, which is quite nice. And that's about it. I played a few games with Unseen Depths on stream today, and I've got those matches coming up right now for you, so please enjoy. If you like Theme Deck content, if you like these deck profiles, please consider liking the video. In any case, I'll see you in the next live stream or video. So enjoy the games, take care, and I'll see you next time. Confusion can be pretty powerful. I'll keep that in mind in case any tight spots come up. Because giving yourself a 50-50 out is better than nothing, for sure. So this might be a Kyogre open, which I'm not a massive fan of. Rain Splash for 10 is not very compelling either. We do have Fan Club though. So depending on whether we're going first or second. Yeah, we're going second. So this one's a little hard because we don't really have access to Pokemon-based draw. I think I'm gonna deal with that Cosmogrant. Let's go Fan Club, first of all. So I'm thinking, like, these two. Why bother getting Pyukyu? I should just get Psyduck. Alright, we'll hit done. Hi, Dog Chow. You weren't sure if this was live or recording? I try to make it obvious with the thumbnail. I am on a little bit earlier than usual. Now, if you haven't seen already, I did upload a theme deck video last night all about Towering Heights. So, if you're fiending for some theme deck content after the stream, please go ahead and check that one out. Ooh, good. Good. Switch. Wait, Altar of the Moon. Retreat cost. Cool. Let's do this. Energy loop. Very strong. So even though that line of play has removed an energy from our board, it did allow us to take a Salandit away. So I'm very happy with the way that one went. Let's howl for 3 straight away. We do need some more cards. Let's take this. And I kind of want to take away the Cosmog now. Oh no! Dogtail, no. I know, streaming on YouTube is still like a relatively new thing, or a thing that people don't really understand that well. So like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You would not be the first person on my channel to have been duped by it, for sure. Supernatural Dance. It's been a while since I've seen this card. Well, we've got no Pokemon in a discard pile thus far. Alright, Hot Poison is going to burn and poison us. That's alright. It's not looking great for our hero over here, playing the Sun and Moon Guardian Rising deck, Hidden Moon. I'm not sure about the strength of this deck, but I'm not particularly impressed so far. Well, I think that we want to just continue attacking with the Golduck here. So we'll just energy loop. As long as our opponent's got a very average board position, I just want to keep the pressure up with Golduck. Flip a coin. Tails means we remain burned. So our Golduck may not be long for this world. If they bench something, then Fiona is going to give us an interesting line of play. Vinod, I think you're right. Yeah, my pleasure, Vinod. My pleasure. I think that people really enjoy theme deck content, so I'm happy to continue. We didn't recover. So I'm gonna do this. I really want to start developing a Piplup. So get it on the board. Now we're gonna do something interesting here. We're gonna use Whirlpool Suction. Right? And force the Stuffle active. So this is what I was talking about before. And then we're gonna use Tate and Liza to switch. And we'll just end up Ambipom. And then we're gonna switch to the Golduck again. And then Energy Loop. That kind of play is not common with theme decks, but I'm glad I was able to do it there. And so the point of me doing that was to remove the poison. Now it does force my opponent to commit energy to the Oricorio. which is... it's good. Oh, they really needed to use Revelation Dance. They needed to use Revelation Dance. I'm absolutely gonna get away with it here. I'm gonna put Puku down just so I can Lily here. And we'll scratch. Could have considered retreating the Golduck, actually. That might have been better. But yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna wrap this up with a bye-bye throw. No Pokemon remaining on our opponent's side, and the Hidden Moon deck goes down. Nice one. That's a win on the board. We will queue up for a tournament. I think that's what we're gonna do. Coin flip. We win the coin flip again. Very crucial, as you know. Same matchup. People really like the Soaring Storm deck, and I do not blame them. Two lines of play here. We can either Pokecom into Golduck for early pressure, or we could Pokecom into Pyukumuku and look to call for family on turn 2. I think I like the pressure play, but we'll see. I could also try and power up a benched attacker like Ambipom, like Apom or something, and try and Cynthia for exactly what I need, but that doesn't seem like a likely outcome. So I think I want to knock out the Grimer ASAP. I don't know if I want to put Psyduck down. Seems alright. Or hit done. Because I want to Pokemon Communication to guarantee the Golduck. We do cost ourselves the chance to evolve into Prinplup turn 2. But I think having the guaranteed Golduck to ensure our next turn goes the way that we want it to is good for us. Taking a KO on the Grimer early seems good to me. Seems good to me. Just gonna adjust the angle of my camera a little bit. Might cut off my head at times, but you know. Alright. Golduck off the top is very interesting. So we can do this. And now this line of play looks a bit different, right? Because we could Pokecom. Oh. I kind of want to take Fiona here. And force the Grimer out. And now I can knock out one of these two. One way or the other, we're putting them in an awkward spot. They have to choose whether they want to lose this energy attachment or the Pidgey. They choose to lose the Pidgey in this case. So I think that was a really good outcome for us. There's a Puku. Not bad. I don't know that I want to use it, but now that we've got Calm and a Pokemon in hand, there's also a line of play where we could go for the Fione again and put them in a rough spot again. See, it's all well and good if they continue to draw with Grimer, but if we continue pressuring the bench the way that we are, it's not going to get them... They're not going to be able to develop their board very well. They will be able to eventually, but with any luck, we'll have taken enough prizes so that that shouldn't matter. So we'll see. I'm gonna adjust the cam a little bit. I look a little dark, don't I? Don't I look a little dark? I don't know, is it just me? Maybe I can up the brightness. No. I think it's bright. If I don't have that, my face does go much darker, so I think it's fine. I think the lighting's fine. Alright, our opponent is taking their time with their turn, which is always important. Now that they've got these two on the bench, I'm not too thrilled with the idea of the Fione play, because Golduck is a 2-hit KO on those Pokemon, so... Still no Dratini, which is nice. See where they commit the energy. Next turn, I may decide to Pyukumuku. Roller Skater will be the play for sure. Okay, I don't really want to give them a free way to retreat the Grimer, so... might play a slower game at this point and just be happy with our 1 prize lead. Slow turn from our opponent, finally. Okay. Piplup, great. Roller Skater. Yep. Trying to decide what I want to do here. Touch energy here. Or just scratch. So I need a bit of time myself to set up as well. So what I'm doing here is just attacking a scratch. It's going to be a 3-hit KO, but it will give us a bit of time to set up our deck. It'll give us a little bit of time. Slow turns from opponent, but they do finally use the collect. Ambipom here. Untouched energy, just so it's ready with bye-bye throw. And now we've got Lily for 1 card. Roller Skater, that'll be good next turn. That'll be good next turn. We really need a Primplop. Really need a Primplop. Hi Roderick, what's the game plan? Well, as long as our opponent doesn't take the initiative here somehow and switch out the Grimer, our plan is to knock out the Grimer with Golduck. Golduck will probably fall to Lantern, although Golduck has Grass weakness, not Lightning, so that might catch them off guard. And in any case, what we're trying to do is develop our board more over these few turns just now. This is probably going to be for a Dratini or a Pidgeotto. Not Dratini. Yeah, Dratini or Pidgeotto. They might go for bench damage. That is true. That is true. But they won't get more than 20 damage on our bench. So I imagine this will be for Pidgeotto if they're putting Dragonair away. Very slow game. 17.5 minutes on the clock. For them, they've taken 5 more minutes than us to play their turns. And we went first. Pidgeotto? Yep. So this is really what you want to do with Dragonite. You want to establish your Pidgeottos ASAP to tear through your deck. We were fortunate enough to knock out a Pidgey early, so that stymied their ability to do that. Alrighty. Come on, mate. Looks like that Tornadus is getting ready for action. That's alright. So Roller Skater here will be good. Prinplup. Now I don't want to bench this. Could high water them, but still really just don't want to, hey. I'm gonna put an energy over here. Scratch. So now we're up to 4 prizes, but now the floodgates are a bit open now. It's a little bit scary now. We do have the Empoleon in hand. Ambipom's good to go. I think Ambipom is what will come out here. The lightning weakness on the Empoleon will mean that Lantern grabs the one-hit KO without too much hassle. And seeing as Empoleon takes quite a bit to get up and running, we sort of don't want to attack with it if we can. So we'll see. If they didn't have this Lantern on the bench to contend with, I would consider using Bubble Hold with Empoleon, but yeah. Just go deal with it. So, Golduck survives an attack, so we get to deny a prize. and then Ambipom is going to take a KO. It's also going to help cull cards out of our hand to be able to use Lily and actually draw some cards too, so that's nice. I think I will discard both Pukus. So here comes a Thunderous Tornado. They would have almost used up all their time if this was a tournament match. Very long turns. Develop the Empoleon. We'll discard the Golduck for Ambipom. I don't want to use the energy on. Maybe I'll attach one energy to Golduck here. I think that's fine. Being able to do 80 damage at some point will always be useful. So let's use Bye-Bye Throw. We'll get rid of the Pukus. -2 in hand. And then +1 from prizes. And Apom is a fine pickup there. It's another strong attacker. When it evolves to Ambipom, of course. See if we can prompt them a little bit, you know. Hello. Yes. I think we're gonna head into a tournament match after this game. And we'll see how Unseen Depths performs. With the double Thunderous on the bench, it makes sense if I'm presenting a board of Empoleon. Sure. Dang, dude, this game's ridiculous. Come on, man. Come on. That's scary? It is, yeah. I still have utmost faith in Soaring Storm to play around what I'm presenting, but Apom's good, you know, Ambipom. Empoleon's gonna do some work too. They're out of Tornadus? I don't think so. They've got one more. If it's prized though, they might be in trouble. It's definitely not over by any stretch of the imagination, for sure. So, I kind of want to lead in with Golduck here, because they can't accelerate energy to the Lantern from this position, and if they have to burn a switch to go into the Thunderous, then so be it. I'm gonna play it this way. Do this. I very much don't want to play this to the board. I think I want to play Tantalizer here. I don't want to draw 2. I'd rather shuffle, draw 5. Bench Kyogre, perhaps. Seems good. And then we'll do this. Shuffle and draw. Okay. Let's do this. Energy Loop. Fan Club is good. I'm happy enough with that, because we can play that in the turn upcoming to grab ourselves a Piplup. Maybe more if they take the KO on Golduck here. It's interesting, I'm presenting some awkward turns for them. They do have access to all their switching options though, so we'll see, we'll see. They should be able to switch out if they want. If they so choose. So we see Tornadus receiving an energy. But that means this Lantern is not doing anything anytime soon. Fine. This Tornadus doesn't get to attack. If they play Switch, Knuckle Punch is still not enough. So yeah, they're definitely not attacking this turn. Or if they're attacking, it's not doing much. Yeah, there you go. Ambipom straight off the top. I'm very, very pleased by the timing of that. It's Fan Club here. We're gonna take these two maybe? I don't think that Fione helps us. I'm gonna keep it to just the one card. And the reason for that is I want a stronger Lily draw. So let's scratch and take the KO. Now we're down to 2. Ooh, maybe I should have kept the Fione. We might be able to get it back later. So, the reason why I was considering, like, in retrospect, why it might have been good to keep, is so that I could create a situation where no matter what they put forward, I could just Fione switch their active Pokemon with something weak on the bench, and then take the last prize. Because we're very close to winning here now. It's almost a checkmate, to be honest, because they don't have Dratini on board yet. So we're doing alright. So here comes the Thunderous Gale, but for what? You know? They take a KO on the Golduck, and that's it. Looking like a W? I hope so. Because this has been quite a long game. But I think it's also shown how important your thinking about your lines of play are. You can outmaneuver a different player, like other players, even in the theme deck meta. You know, there is going to be games that you'll definitely win because your opponent had a bad day. There'll be games that you'll definitely lose because you had a bad game. Like, bad draws or whatever. Like, there's not much you can do about it. It's these games where it looks like it could be even. You know? It's these games. We're gonna put up Ambipom because Bye-Bye Throw just does all the damage. Let's Lily here. Just draw 2. Yep. And then we'll Bye-Bye Throw. In fact, we'll put Fione on the bench. Just for fun. And then we'll Bye-Bye Throw. Let's discard a Water Energy. And I'm gonna discard Tantalizer. I'm gonna keep a Water Energy in hand. And now this is looking pretty good. Yeah, next turn we just Bye-Bye Throw, or if needed, recall Aquafall with Empoleon, so it's looking good. Pokecon, Dragonair. Might be too little too late, my friend. That Dratini should have come out much sooner than it did. So, unfortunate. the longer you take to grab your evolution Pokemon, the longer it is before you get to use them. Which sounds like a very, like, duh, of course. But you can see the repercussions of being even one turn late. And, like, they don't even give me the chance to take the final KO there. Just immediately concede. Golduck. Getting some work done. Yeah, GG, GG. That game took 24 minutes. That was way too long. Way